Hey everyone, and welcome to this month's Hockey Hobby Roundup. We're going to go over a ton of Connor Bedard content, including when you can get hands on his next rookie card, and as well as a first look at his Future Watch autograph. Things like when the cup is releasing from 2021-22, who's hot, who's not, and just the general rookie report update. Let's get right into today's episode. Starting things off with who's hot, and it's Nikita Kucherov, who's putting the Tampa Bay Lightning on his back with 19 goals and 47 points through his team's first 28 games. He's been absolutely phenomenal this year and just tearing up the league. But hot on his tails is Connor McDavid, because after a very sluggish and slow start, the superstar, arguably the best player in hockey history in terms of skill level and speed, is just back to his good old tricks. He's got 23 points in his last 9 games. He looks like the Connor McDavid we all know and love, or hate if you have to watch him score on your team multiple times in a game. But yeah, he seems to be back, which is good news for hockey because, I mean, let's be real, hockey's always a little bit better when McDavid's doing the highlight reel plays. Finally, we're going to talk about the two-headed Norris race between Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar. Both of the defensemen are just head and shoulders above the rest of the competition, and I'd say it's a fairly dead heat between the two of them. I would slightly give the edge to Quinn Hughes, but I'm a little biased there. However, I think his quality of team is a little bit worse than Colorado's, and just what he's doing is extremely impressive. One other player I would say to keep an eye on is Quinton Byfield as well, because he has put up an insane highlight reel tape so far this year with the LA Kings, and he just looks like he's going to finally turn into that dominant player that I expected him to turn into from the draft. So just keep your eye on him, and if you're looking to pick up some of his rookies, he's in the 2021-22 product crop, including 2021-22 Series 2, and he will actually have his Cup rookie patch auto out of 99 coming out on December 20th, but we'll talk more about the Cup later. In terms of who's not hot, it's actually a trio of teams that have made the race for Macklin Celebrini a little bit more interesting. Chicago, Anaheim, and Columbus have all kind of just really struggled over the past month, and Columbus in particular has been an absolute tire fire. There are a lot of people extremely frustrated over the team, and everyone's just kind of sitting around waiting for them to blow it up because it's very clear that their GM's not going to be back. Their head coach is doing some weird things with just player deployment and things like that. And a lot of the fans are just tired of the team in the direction that it's heading and just want change, which honestly, it's pretty reasonable given how much they've spent in the offseason, the Mike Babcock issues in the I guess right before the season started, and then just how they're performing. They're not doing well. They're one of the worst teams in the league. I think it's time for them to make a ton of changes there. In terms of a player who is ice cold, it's probably Andrei Kuzmenko, to be completely honest. The Vancouver Canucks forward has struggled mightily over the past month, and honestly, I would be shocked if he's with the Canucks by the end of the year with how much he struggled and how much he seems out of place in that lineup. It's very clear Rick Tocchet doesn't like his game, and honestly, Kuzmenko himself has just been passing up on opportunities to shoot when he's got a good shot and knows how to finish it. It looks like his confidence is just shattered, and again, he just doesn't kind of have a spot in the team anymore, with Lafferty being his replacement on the top line for the Canucks alongside Pettersson, who, by the way, Pettersson's carrying a line of Mikheyev and Lafferty, and he's looking pretty solid still, which is absolutely incredible. Before we get into the rookie report, I just want to show you Connor Bedard's Future Watch autograph design that Upper Deck has released today. I think it looks pretty sick, but the one thing worth noting here is that there's no mention of inscription autos this year. Typically, the first 50 Future Watch autos have their debut date inscribed on the card. However, it seems like that might not be a thing this year, as it's always been mentioned in the past in the sell sheets, and I just don't see any mentions of it this year, so something to keep an eye on, but hopefully they bring back at least unique inscriptions. I like the debut date, but it's also nice when they inscribe it with something a little bit more personal too. Who knows, we'll have to keep an eye on it, but for now, that Connor Bedard Future Watch looks pretty sick, and I mean, it's going to cost a lot because he's been absolutely insane. Bedard leads all rookies in goals, assists, and points, and he has just been electric for Chicago despite their struggles. He is constantly facing the top competition on a nightly basis. He has no supporting cast, and he's just doing really good at even strength. In fact, he's got most of his points at even strength, so you're kind of looking at him long-term being like, this guy's doing this well at 18 years old, putting up this many points, this many goals at even strength. I think he's tied for 11th in even strength goals. And you're looking at that being like, how good is he gonna get? Because that's absolutely crazy, especially considering he is constantly drawing those tough top matchups from the opposition. So definitely living up to the hype. I know a lot of people were slightly worried about just how good he was after recent first overall picks not quite living up to their hype, but it looks like he's the real deal. And honestly, he just seems to keep getting better and finding another level to his game. So once Chicago gets some talent around him, I just continue to expect him to explode more in points and goals. For the most part, the rest of the rookie class has either cooled off or stayed around the same pace. Adam Fantilli has still kind of done his thing in Columbus, despite the team being an absolute tire fire. He's not getting a ton of minutes, which kind of sucks. I think he should be getting more playing time just to let him develop. But outside of him, Logan Cooley's kind of just done the same thing. He's struggling a little bit at 5-on-5, but's picking up some points. Poitras has also cooled down a lot for the Boston Bruins after his torrid start, so his stocks might be a little bit colder when it comes time for Series 2's release in February. It's actually slated for February 28th right now, but that date is always subject to change, so be sure to subscribe because we'll update you as soon as a checklist comes out. In terms of rookie defenders, both Luke Hughes and Brock Faber have done pretty well. Brock Faber in particular is holding down the number one defenseman role in Minnesota pretty well. He actually just looks like a general number one defenseman in the league, which is pretty impressive. He's playing 23 minutes a night. Doesn't look out of place at all. In fact, honestly looks like he belongs there. So pretty good return from that Kevin Fiala trade that they had there. Luke Hughes, on the other hand, has been getting a little bit more playing time due to Dougie Hamilton's injury, and he's looked fine. I think he's going to continue scoring, but overall, some slight concerns over that defensive play. But it is worth noting that Simon Nemec has made his debut in the NHL. He's played his first 5 games for the New Jersey Devils. He was a second overall pick a couple of seasons ago, and he's been pretty good for them. I really like his game. I think long term he's got a very good chance of being a top defenseman, so definitely a player to keep your eye on. I do want to talk a little bit more about Leo Carlsson here as well, because Anaheim's developing him a little bit differently from every other top rookie draft pick that you see. They're giving him days off to work on his strength and conditioning to improve his overall physical strength, which I think is a really smart approach, and it's going to benefit him long term. But what that means is he's playing less, which means his point totals might not be as high as what they should be, so his cards might be a little bit cheaper once they start coming out. That being said, he's still playing at a decently high level, and he's still scoring a lot, so I don't know how much lower they'll be, but it does seem like he has that superstar level potential to him, so keep an eye out because that training regimen is actually going to probably pay off in the long run, and I really like that approach. It's something that we really haven't seen at the NHL level, but makes a ton of sense. Finally, let's talk about the second hottest rookie behind Connor Bedard in the NHL, and that is Connor Zary of the Calgary Flames. The Flames forward has 12 points in 17 games, and he's been a real renaissance for a team. He's kind of rejuvenated them, and they look to be back to better form. Both the Alberta teams actually look to be back to their kind of more true form. But yeah, he's looked really good, and I don't know quite what his top end potential level is. I think it's below a lot of the top players this year, kind of in the more like top 6 forward rather than a superstar perennial all-star type player. But hey, he's doing really well. He's provided a punch to a team that's needed it. And hey, who knows? Maybe he'll be the next great thing and just kind of developing a little bit later. But yeah, definitely someone to keep an eye on when Series 2 or Extended rolls out. Not quite sure what series his young gun's going to be in. So again, we'll have to just wait for the checklist. In terms of products that came out in the past month, we saw 2023 Team Canada Juniors come out alongside 3 NHL products, which were all 2022-23. We saw SP Authentic, followed by Stature, and then SP Game Use came out last week. We have box breaks on all of those, so feel free to check our description for the links to them. And also, if you want to pick up a box, feel free to check out our site at zephyrepic.com. Also of note, the Boston Bruins Centennial Collection came out for anyone that is interested in that. And now is probably the most exciting part of the video where we talk about the upcoming releases, because 2023-24 Artifacts is releasing this Friday. This is your next chance to get Connor Bedard rookies. There's actually on-card patch autos of him in his Team Canada jersey in Artifacts. They're going to be extremely rare, so don't count on pulling one. But what you are looking for in Artifacts are the Chicago Blackhawks rookie redemptions, because that's going to be Connor Bedard. It's going to be highly sought after. They're going to sell for probably an insane amount, but Artifacts is always one of my personal favorite products just because I love the whole concept of the rookie redemptions. I love kind of speculating on who's going to get them, and it's just a fun way to get your early in the year rookie cards, even though you have to wait for them with the redemption. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. We'll probably have a video break of that on Friday as well as group breaks for that. So be on the lookout for those. And then finally, the next big release the next week is 2021-22 Upper Deck the Cup, finally coming out. It's been a while, but yeah, the Cup's finally coming back. I'm looking forward to it because it's just always a fun release. We'll have a deeper dive on it later this week, but it's worth noting that the 6 out of 99 rookie patch autos are Cole Caulfield, Trevor Zegras, Quinton Byfield, Lucas Raymond, Moritz Seider, and Spencer Knight. So those are your short print out of 99 rookie patch autos that generally command a premium on the secondary market. Anyways, that is all for this month's Hockey Hobby Roundup. Please let us know if you liked the video, and if you have any comments or questions, let us know in the comment section below. We'll be sure to try to answer as many of them as we possibly can. Anyways, take it easy, and I will see you in the next video.